I will tell you how much the best games earned in January 2023 on Steam. If the game you were waiting for did not make it to the top, it means that there were fewer reviews left for it than for these games. Backfirewall is an adventure that any modern gamer will enjoy, because here all the events unfold around computers, smartphones, the internet, and other technologies. Without them, a person of the present cannot imagine his own life. It often happens that programs that people are used to cause crashes, and it is this problem that needs to be solved along the way. The main character is a person who works in a large software company and is the head of the software update department. In Backfirewall, the main element of the gameplay is endless puzzles, and in order to solve them, the user will have to use skills such as logic, reaction speed, resourcefulness, and accuracy. In the course of the story, it is important to collect program codes, eliminate unnecessary data blocks, fix errors and bugs. The single-player campaign consists of dozens of levels with gradually increasing difficulty. This game is satirical and makes fun of many modern cliches that relate to gadgets and the internet. The virtual world, thanks to this approach, looks very bright and unusual. You can explore it from a first-person perspective. However, you won't be able to visit all the places at once because the locations are separated by puzzles, the solution of which will take a lot of time and skill. The game costs $15. Death in the Water 2 is a survival simulator that differs from most representatives of its genre in that the actions here take place exclusively in the underwater world. The user does not need to worry about running out of oxygen. The protagonist can stay at a depth as long as he wants and take care of completely different things. His task is only to be reduced only to the fact that to explore the colorful, fully open universe and not become dinner for another shark or sea monster. The underwater universe of Death in the Water 2 is inhabited by a variety of both real, white and tiger sharks, rays, octopuses, dozens of types of non-aggressive fish, and fictional creatures, huge krakens, hydras, megalodons, animals. Each of them has unique behavioral styles, which is extremely important to consider in order not to become a victim. Fortunately, the main character has a harpoon with him, which is able to kill a small enemy or seriously harm even a large predator. The virtual world around the user looks really alive. Each representative of the fauna behaves regardless of the user's actions. They can even hunt each other, share territory, and prey. In his dangerous exploration, the player will observe incredibly colorful views, including fabulous coral reefs that are seething with life and colors. The game costs $20. Empty Shell Prologue is a horror roguelike set in an industrial area somewhere on a deserted Japanese island. Volunteers arrive here not knowing what awaits them. In Empty Shell, you are an operative who has been sent to do specific tasks in an abandoned research facility that has stood idle for decades. You have to solve small puzzles, but in general you are most concerned about the monsters and the fact that there may not be enough ammo. As you progress, you will be able to buy upgrades and find documents from the 50s that will help shed light on what happened there. At times the camera seems to zoom in too much. It would be nice to use manual zoom, but other than that, the game is very tense and atmospheric. It's a true survival horror game. The visual style works very well, and there are some very tense moments as you face some of the toughest enemies. Because this is a prologue, the game is free, and we are waiting for the release of the main version of the game. Wooloop is a simulation and logic game developed by Toasty Labs for the PC platform. Wind, braid, and windwool create works of art strand by strand, one loop at a time, in this relaxed game of craftsmanship. Get inspired by the large level exhibition and relax to the soothing soundtrack. Wooloop is a creation game. You create great works of art by looping thread around various pins on your canvas. Slowly, one strand at a time, patterns will form until you eventually create a beautifully woven masterpiece. The game has over 100 levels, and you'll be amazed at what you can create using just yarn and pins. From start to finish, Wooloop is designed to be relaxing and enjoyable, to help you relax and unwind. Absolutely everything is relaxing. The music, the gameplay, and even the fact that you make a mistake. The game is free. One Piece Odyssey can please fans of the cult manga and anime series. Based on the series, a lot of action games and fighting games were also released. And this project is a Japanese role-playing game. Its release is timed to coincide with the 25th anniversary of the popular series. The story is again dedicated to the adventures of the famous pirates. In the story, they set sail across the New World in search of previously unseen lands and get caught in a storm. After the shipwreck, the crew of the Straw Hats were scattered across a tropical island that regularly experiences storms. Players are initially given control of only Monkey D. Luffy. This corsair wants to find all his comrades, and then find a way to get out of this place with them. As you progress, users get the opportunity to control other characters. In One Piece Odyssey, you can roam open locations and dungeons. The gameplay consists of exploring the area, gathering resources, fighting, leveling, solving puzzles. Gradually, users acquire new allies. Each hero has unique abilities. These skills are used not only in combat, but also in peacetime. Skills allow you to deal with puzzles, get items, and climb into hard-to-reach places. The video game uses a combat system called Scramble Area Battles. Fights take place in arenas that are divided into areas. Between these sectors, you can move your wards. Positioning plays an important role here. There is also a mechanic called Dramatic Scene. She periodically plays with the characteristics of the characters and puts them at a disadvantage. For example, Sanji will stop attacking if he is surrounded by women. The game costs $60. Cultivation Story. Reincarnation is a top-down action game with RPG and bagel elements based on Chinese myths and legends. The project is made in a stylish pixel art style with elements of Oriental drawing. It is required to fight with a huge variety of monsters and bosses. Together with the hero of the adventure, you need to go through many unique levels in order to repel the evil hanging over the country. The protagonist has a wide arsenal of melee weapons, which allows him to fight entire armies of opponents on his way. A feature of the gameplay is a procedurally generated world. Every element of the game, whether it be locations, location of enemies, drop-down items, etc., is randomly generated, increasing the replay value of Cultivation Story. Reincarnation. Boss arenas are also generated. For killing the leaders, the player receives various rewards. They are also generated randomly. Chests containing loot and useful bonuses are scattered around the world. There are forks that are determined through moral choices. On the locations you can find many characters available for interaction. You can take a quest from them or exchange items. The speed and intensity of the gameplay gradually increases. You must quickly respond to the attacks of your enemies. The game costs $10. I commissioned some B-Zero, a puzzle game in which you will have to explore 10 detailed and unique works of art. A game about finding key objects in locations. The essence of the gameplay is extremely unpretentious and simple. You need to find all the hidden bees. In total, you will need to find about 1,000 of their varieties. At any time, you can use one of the many hints. They can be called at any time, and their number is not limited. In addition, there are many secondary objects in the paintings that open access to a variety of bonuses. For example, a special theme or background music. There are 3 tables for saving achievements. You can reset all game progress at any time. In I commissioned some B-Zero, a timer game is available that displays the speed of finding quest objects. Pictures can be zoomed in and out for a more accurate search. All paintings are made in a unique style. They play individual music and have their own unique atmosphere. With the help of unlocked content, you can change various elements of the map. Coping with the goals set, the overall rating of the player increases. There are world leaderboards that display both individual achievements and the results of all other players. The game is free. Juno. New Origins is a simulator of building rockets with which you can then go straight into space to explore its vast expanses and, of course, new planets. There is no storyline in the project, and the only thing you need to do is to design and then observe the launch and course of the carriers, and therefore the game can be called specific and not for everyone. Initially, the Juno New Origins simulator was released on mobile platforms, and only then was it converted to computers. But with porting, some additional features were added that were absent in the original, and the visual component became prettier. To create a unique rocket, several dozen parts are available. It does not sound like a lot, but each of them can be customized as you like. Absolutely everything changes, from the shape to the buoyancy and color. For example, there are several types of engines in total, but in these combustion chambers, the type of fuel, the shape of the nozzle and the size are adjusted. As a result, hundreds of combinations come out of the output, and each of them behaves completely differently. If set incorrectly, a rocket can fly a kilometer and crash with a bang. If you act correctly, then the carrier is able to fly to the end of the galaxy, which will be rewarded with new beautiful views. The game costs $20. Pizza Tower stands out for its pixelated graphics and animations. The drawing imitates the old animated series from the end of the last century. The project also boasts an energetic soundtrack. It's a 2D side-scrolling platform game. This title is the spiritual heir to the video games from the Wario Land series. In it, you can walk left and right, run, accelerate, jump, dash, break some obstacles, ride mounts, turn into monsters. It is possible to beat opponents and parry their attacks. The gameplay consists not only of battles with enemies and overcoming obstacles. Here you can also study the levels. There are also boss battles. To gain access to them, you need to collect stuffing and earn money. There is a small TV in the upper right corner of the screen. It shows the changing facial expressions of the character. Pizza Tower is the object that the hero wants to destroy. In the story, Peppino Spaghetti tries to save his restaurant. Besides this balding Italian, they sometimes let a guy called Gustavo drive here. According to the plot, the pizza-faced villain wants to blow up the protagonist's establishment from his shelter with a laser. To prevent this from happening, the chef must go to the lair of the enemy, go upstairs, and deal with the antagonist. The building consists of 5 floors, each of which is divided into many different levels with hidden areas. Locations can be completed quickly to get as many points as possible, or explore at your own pace. The game costs $20. Hi-Fi Rush tells about the adventures of a guy named Chai. This music lover, without one arm, decided to participate in the Armstrong project. Vandally Technologies provides people with disabilities with implants, but in return requires them to work for themselves. The hero was supposed to become a scavenger after receiving a mechanical prosthesis. However, during the operation, a music player is accidentally implanted in his chest and gives him new powers. The corporation then begins to consider the protagonist a defective individual and tries to destroy him. He himself goes on the run and meets the Cat 808, which is controlled by a mysterious hacker. Together, they decide to repulse the evil firm and bring its leadership to clean water. Gradually, the number of their allies increases. The plot is fed through screensavers on the engine. Thanks to cell shading and other effects, 3-dimensional graphics resemble both a cartoon and an animated comic book. It's a mixture of rhythm game, action-adventure, and slasher. The game uses a third-person view. Thanks to an illegal experiment, the guy got the ability to see the rhythm everywhere. Ambient elements pulse with the beat, so you can navigate them. It is also possible to include a special indicator to facilitate the process. During battles with opponents, it is important to get on the beat in order to land more powerful blows, get higher ranks, and earn more points. In battle, you can perform various combos, make dashes, jump, and also carry out joint attacks. The enemies here are represented by robots. There are also bosses among them. Battles with crowds of mechanical creatures are diluted with episodes where you have to overcome lasers, presses, and other obstacles. At such moments, the camera sometimes changes its angle. The gameplay is accompanied by a special soundtrack. It consists of compositions written by the developers themselves and tracks authored by cult and popular bands like The Prodigy or Nine Inch Nails. The game costs $30. This is such a rich and interesting top. Write in the comments which game you liked more.